before spot tags came along, you guys had already mapped out where they go. And that was through statistics in them being caught in different areas. And did pop-up satellite tags also contribute to that?
Well, there were various projects that were done on great white sharks in South Africa. The initial project was the Oceanographic Research Institute's streamer tags that were simply spaghetti-like tags with numbers. But when the sharks were tagged by the sport fishermen or myself in trek nets or next to commercial cage diving boats, when those sharks were recaught in the Natal shark sport nets, you could see the amount of time it was between tagging and recapture and where they had moved to, how much they'd grown, all those sorts of things. Then Craig and Theo Ferreira started using plat tags, where they had little number plates. So they were visual tags. Every time the shark swam past, whereas with a spaghetti tag, you can't see what's on that. It's too small and it's dark. The number plates showed you which shark it was because you could read the individual letters, and more clearly, the movement between certain areas became apparent. I at the same time started using color-coded tags that essentially did the same thing as what the Ferreiras were doing, and we started seeing movements within False Bay, etc. Then scientists started, in 2000, I worked with Dr. Rocky Strong, where we put on the acoustic tags, and you put a listening station down, and every time the shark swims past that listening station a certain distance, it records the presence of the animal.
How is that acoustic tag applied?
It's applied, the shark swims past the boat, it's lured into the boat with a piece of fish. It's not hooked or hurt in any way. The shark comes in as it swims past the boat. It's tagged with the aid of a pole, with the applicator on the end, and the tag goes in next to the dorsal fin.
Underneath the dorsal fin?
Yeah, subcutaneously. A little barb goes in next to the dorsal fin at the base of the fin.
And so no capture is necessary to apply an acoustic
tag?
No,
absolutely no capture is necessary at all. And if it's done responsibly, the shark can be tagged in almost the perfect spot with the minimum amount of pressure needed. And what that allowed Dr. Strong to do, and then subsequent scientists who use the same technique, was to see how the sharks are using specific areas. So, for instance, Dr. Strong and later Alison Koch and Cole LaRoche and other people put down a series of listening stations around Seal Island, and the movement of the sharks around that island could be monitored on a 24-hour basis when they retrieved that listening station at a later stage. Subsequent to that, pop-up tags that were used, that were basically tags that were attached to the shark, that every time the shark broke the surface, a signal was sent to a satellite, and the movement of these animals over long periods of the ocean could be captured from that. Once again, the sharks didn't have to be caught for that data to be downloaded. So there was an evolution of tags throughout this process that gave us a very good understanding of how the sharks were utilizing at least the southern African coastline.